Welcome to the future, where the glass is half full and you'll need new glasses, where you'll be jumping from conclusions.
The past is annulled, and a new future is born.
Never before in history has so much meant so little to so many. AD on the radio.
So it's an interesting dance. It is an interesting dance that our president is doing at the moment. I don't know if you caught it or not, but, well, cast your mind back to around a year or so ago. Do you remember the apology that Donald Trump made? Was it a year ago? No, it was longer. How long ago was it? I guess it was, we're going back more than a year. To an apology Donald Trump made. Now, Donald Trump is not really one for apologizing. He's not really one for going, sorry, I was wrong about that. My bad. Words that are not really prominent in Donald Trump's vocabulary, certainly not when grouped in that particular order. My bad, I'm sorry. Not something you hear him say all that often. But do you remember he said, my bad, I'm sorry, or words to that effect, after the hot mic Billy Bush incident? He apologized. He said it was locker room talk or whatever the hell it is. Whatever the hell it was that he felt allowed him to skate around it. Oh, yes. He said this was locker room banter, a private conversation that took place many years ago. Bill Clinton has said far worse than me on the golf course. Not even close. I apologize if anyone was offended. It's crazy. I forgot he tried to throw Bill Clinton under the bus while he was apologizing for something. It's that weird thing, man. It's that weird thing. And this is not really germane to what we're talking about, but people on the left, people on the right, people all over do it. It's that whole sort of like, what about thing? Well, yeah, I know that was bad, but what Bill Clinton did was so much worse. What about that? Somebody came up with a cool name for it. Was it John Oliver who called it whataboutism? Both sides are completely and totally guilty of it. And it doesn't mitigate in any way, shape, or form the thing that someone's apologizing for when you say what about. When you do or say something horrible that's offensive toward women, saying what about what Bill Clinton did? Well, that doesn't take anything away from the severity of what you did. Anyways, we're getting off track. The point is, a little over a year ago, Donald Trump apologized for making those comments on Hot Mic with Billy Bush egging him on in the background. Now he's sort of flip-flopping because in that time, that sort of behavior has become inexcusable. In a really, really good way. We've talked about it a lot on the show. There's been a 180-degree change in attitudes toward that sort of thinking and that sort of speaking when it comes to any kind of diminishing of women in society and especially in the workplace. So at the time he was able to be like, oh, shucks, locker room talk and get away with an apology. Now that there is blood in the water and people that are sexually inappropriate, people that are sexual predators, people that demean people sexually through their power, be it in the workplace or in society. Well, there's, like I said, there's blood in the water and the sharks are out for more of it. And he got away with that behavior. A year and a half ago. Now the knives are out and people are on the hunt for his blood and the blood of others. And interestingly enough, he has changed his tune. The New York Times reports that Trump is now claiming that Access Hollywood video footage showing him bragging about kissing women and grabbing them by the you-know-whats is not, and I quote, authentic. Yeah, he says it's not authentic. He suggested to a senator earlier this year that it was not authentic and repeated that claim to an advisor more recently. This is what the Times said. And this is what they said when they were noting Donald Trump's endorsement of Roy Moore, who's been told by everybody and their grandmother in the Republican Party, except for Donald Trump, to bail based on the fact that there's a certain amount of smoke, there's bound to be a certain amount of fire, and there's all these tales of him doing wildly inappropriate, well, That's the low end of the range of the things that Roy Moore has been accused of. The low end is wildly inappropriate with underage girls. The upper end is straight up rape. So he's been accused of all these things, and Republicans around him have backed off, pulled their support of him. Donald Trump has not. And at the same time, he's also suggested, like I said, that, and I don't know how it would be inauthentic, but he suggested the Billy Bush tape, the damning Billy Bush tape that hurt Billy Bush way more than anybody else, was inauthentic. So like I said, it's an interesting dance that the president, who has himself been accused of sexual assault by multiple women, is beginning to do.
Where the left and right come together for fundamental truths. AD on the radio, on Twitter at ADSXE.
So a little later on in the show, I'm going to play you a ZZ Top song that is based in truth. It tells a true story of a particular establishment in the great state of Texas, where ZZ Top hail from. Everybody's favorite bearded Texans wrote a song about a popular spot in Texas. And what's interesting is, well, they wrote it about a business, and it resulted in that business getting shut down. If you're any kind of a ZZ Top fan, I'm sure you know. But if you don't, it's a fascinating story. And if you're a ZZ Top fan, it's one that you never tire of hearing. Which ZZ Top song got a business shut down in Texas? We'll get into that later on. Right now, though, Funkhouser, do you know who the latest in a long line of folks to be accused of sexual misconduct is?
Oh, it really could be anybody at this point. No, I don't know who.
Well, we're
it's not me,
lower.
Is it?
No. It has nothing to do with Hollywood entertainment or any kind of Hollywood food chain. Up until recently, all the people that have been accused have been people in positions of power, people in positions of celebrity that have abused that power, that celebrity, and done wildly inappropriate on the low end of things and rapey on the high end of things. Stuff to people that in no way, shape, or form deserved it. And it's obviously been a massive part of our national dialogue. But for the first time since this all began a few months ago, or a couple, it seems like so much has happened in so little amount of time. When did the Weinstein thing first come out, Funkhouser?
Well, it wasn't that long ago. It must have been maybe a couple months. Let's look.
I'm going to say Google. It was, a month, maybe less. I don't know. But so much has come and gone in that time. But the latest people to be accused of sexual misconduct are, wait for it, massage envy masseuses. Have you heard about this? Did you see this? Do you ever go for massages, Funkhouser?
The only time I've done it is when they're in the mall and they're like, come on over here. So no, I've never gone to a place.
Okay. And like that's that mall sort of like where you sit in the chair with a hole that you stick your face through and they give you a back rub.
Students are there,
through your clothes. Like, and there's very little room for impropriety because you're in broad daylight in public and all your clothes are on. So it's not like someone's gonna get all gropey with you there, or very unlikely. But this place, Massage Envy,
that's a chain, isn't it?
Oh, it's a chain. Like they've got more than 1,200 spas across the country. Female customers at Massage Envy have accused massage therapists of groping and, wait for it, penetrating them on the massage table. There's all these lawsuits, there's police reports, there's all these complaints, and a whole bunch of cases. Women who complained to Massage Envy management about assault said they were stonewalled. In general, the company doesn't require its franchises to notify law enforcement when an allegation of sexual assault is made. This is according to the report. So it's unbelievably creepy. So you've never been to a place where you remove your clothing?
No, and I would always Yelp it before going if I were to go. Because you never know what you're going to get, I hear, when you go to those types of places. I guess if it's a Massage Envy, like a chain, you know what you're going to get. Like you can become a member and stuff.
Yeah, it's sort of like the Chipotle of the massage world.
You would think they'd
like
have checks and balances, though. You know, it being such a big thing.
Standards that one has to adhere to, or I don't know. Like, no, if you have to meet cleanliness and hygiene standards in the restaurant world, one would imagine there would be similar standards set. There's one case where this woman of Westchester, Pennsylvania, Bam Margera country, she said she was sexually assaulted by a massage therapist called James Dieter. An hour after the assault, she called the Massage Envy location where it occurred. The manager who answered the phone said that they wouldn't interrupt this guy's ongoing massage with another client. And she's like, no, you have to stop the massage and get him away from the women. He just did this thing to me. He stuck his fingers in places they absolutely should not have been less than an hour ago. And apparently, the person that was running the front desk was like, no, I can't interrupt the massage, but you can come in and talk about it if you want. She's like, you're not getting it. I don't want to come in and talk about this. Anyways, she called the cops. This dude who'd been doing it actually fessed up, and he pled guilty to molesting 9 separate women. That was one guy. Anyways, Massage Envy is, and this was back in 2015. It's amazing. It's amazing. All sorts of dirty laundry is coming out. Like we were talking about with the president. He kind of got away with the Billy Bush thing and the hot mic episode a year or so ago. And now there is, attitudes have shifted radically, and people are getting called out on things that happened years ago, up to and including Massage Envy. This guy molested 9 women. He confessed to it. He was working at a Massage Envy, and because of what's going on in society now, he's being called out. It's weird. It's really, really weird. I actually have a friend. I know this girl who's a massage therapist and works at Massage. And I don't want to say this because I can't be sure, and with the ongoing legal situation. But she does work at, I think, one of those franchise places, and there's several different ones. There's Massage Envy, there's Massage Heights, there's all sorts of different sort of, it's like the Chipotle of the massage world. In theory, you go into one in Florida, it's going to be the same in California. So the person I know who works there said she has been groped and grabbed and propositioned and offered extra money to provide happy endings on more than one occasion, and she wants no part of it. She's like, no, I'm a trained massage therapist. Beat it. Not like that, but just beat it, get out, go away. And it's amazing how all this is coming out in the wash in a big way. It's unpleasant, but it's healthy.
Don't get the blues, get all the news. We mean all of you guys out there in Radio Land. All aboard!
He's back. AD on the radio.
Give it up, yeah. Give it up, yeah. Bring this on, come on, come on.
So yeah, Massage Envy is the latest to come under fire in the world of sexual misconduct. I don't know if you caught this or not. I don't know if you were around when we were talking about it earlier, but more than 180 women have accused the folks over at Massage Envy of sexual assault. And in one case, the case that's causing all the noise, this one woman in Westchester, Pennsylvania, back in May of 2015, she was sexually assaulted by a massage therapist. She called Massage Envy. They said, we're not interrupting his massage that's going on right now. And she's like, no, you've got to get him away from the woman that he's with right now. He did things to me that are just distinctly rapey. And eventually she called the cops. The massage therapist fessed up, and he pled guilty to molesting 9 different women. 9. Anyways, here's where it gets a little unusual, because these are franchises. So it's like, it's not like Massage Envy is directly responsible for everything that happens in every single one of their franchises. But they said we hold franchise owners accountable to our policies, and when we say nothing is more important to us than treating our clients with respect and giving them a safe professional experience, we mean it. I've been to a bunch of Massage Envies. I've always had a really sort of like pleasant time. So you've never been for a massage?
You're a regular massage person?
Not regular, but over the years, like I suppose once every 6 months or so, I'm like, oh God, my back is killing me. I'm all sorts of stressed. Yeah, no,
I'm
that's
trying
the
to think.
best, dude.
Maybe there was one time I did it because I had a gift card, like a Christmas gift. But it was like so over the top, outrageous that I didn't think that I'd had a normal experience because it was like a very like the high end kind of gift card where they like pamper you from here's a towel, wear this bathrobe. We'll see you in 15 minutes. Here's some smooth jazz, easy listening while you prepare. Let me turn the lights down low. Here's an orange scent in the air for you to mesmerize before
I got to be honest with you. That's kind of like the standard deal in most places, and it's not crazy expensive, and it's totally worth it. 100% worth it. Oh my gosh!
Weird.
You wind up, if you get a good massage, you wind up feeling like a new individual when
Maybe
you are
I should
done.
go more. It doesn't sound like it's fun anymore, though. No, I'm just kidding.
Well,
there's going to be a lot of paperwork to sign.
You never know. I don't know what the situation will be moving forward, but I've been to a massage envy on plenty of occasions, and I've always had an excellent experience there. Here's the thing: I'm very picky. And I have no problem saying this when they're asking, because look, it's a personal thing.
That massages
you get to choose whether you want a male or female therapist, and I go a little bit more. I get into it a little bit deeper with them when they're asking, like, do you want a male or a female therapist? And I don't want a guy. And here's the thing. I often ask them, I was like, I would like a female therapist. I would like for her to be significantly older than me. And if English could be her second language, that would be great. That would be like fantastic. Because I just want this to be as impersonal as possible. I don't want to. Here's the thing. Like that one friend of mine that I told you about, who's a massage therapist. Like I know her, I don't want to go in and be massaged by someone I know my age that I'm going to run into socially. I think that would be super freaking awkward. So I always ask for an older woman who speaks English as a second language. And they always say, that's actually not the weirdest request we've had. So
I wonder what the weirdest request was, though.
I don't know. Probably something akin to what gets people in trouble in these places. I don't know. It's weird. Did you ever have friends that would go for the happy ending situation?
Oh, so this is interesting. Sort of. So there was a door opened for me with a long time ago. Remember our Words with Friends story?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay,
how you caught your girlfriend cheating on you on Words with Friends?
Yeah.
Or something like that?
Something like that. Well, I was talking to the guy of the party, and he told me that he was a regular, because I guess I had lived right across the street from a very popular one. And so he says, "Oh, I go there all the time." And I'm like, "Oh, do you?" Well, so I put my interview hat on and I asked him all the questions, like, "So what do you do? Do you knock 3 times? Like, what's the?" And he told me that how it works for him.
It's fascinating. That's exactly what I want to know. The mechanics of the situation. Yeah. How?
You just be up front.
Do you remember?
You be up front from the start. First, you have to scope out the right space, and I think Yelp. You go online and you Google the place, you find out what kind of place it is, and then I guess there's
no way they put that information on Yelp. Absolutely not. Places we get busted left, right, and center.
But there's wording. I guess there's a way to find out. Okay, it's a simple Google search. Will put you on the right track, and then you just be forward with it. From what I'm told, like I'm here for the whole experience, and I want that one.
That's not forward. That's
well, I can't say what you say there here.
Oh, okay.
So I'm being more vague. But yeah, you use all the words. I'm here for the thing, and you go, okay, it'll be an extra, and yeah, he tells you you're supposed to tip and all this stuff. You put it up front first, so it's no surprise to anyone. But sometimes
tip and put it up front first. Really?
Listen.
That's the best choice of words you could come up with. Is in this incredibly tenuous broadcasting situation. Please continue.
And I'm told that if you are at all apprehensive about it, like if you're not upfront about it from the beginning, and it's one of those places, it's an obvious place. They'll ask you midway. They're like, "Oh, would you like a little extra?" And then you're like,
never. Ever been I'm not.
You got to
like
go
a
to those
regular massage
off-market
guy.
ones, I guess.
I'm not a regular massage guy, but like probably, I don't know, 2-3 times a year.
It's probably pretty common from what he tells me how like normal it
that
is.
has never once been offered to me. Never,
Yeah.
not once in my years and years of getting massages. I mean, I do kind of go to, I guess, more reputable places, although, you know, like I thought Massage Envy was a reputable place, judging by this new report, maybe not so much, but never had that offered up. A buddy of mine swore by those types of massages, like, and Buddy's kind of that's kind of generous. A guy I knew swore by it. He was a musician that I knew in New York City back in the day. And he was like, oh yeah, I go for those regularly. I was like, do you? Dude, that's like, I could never go to a prostitute. That'd be so weird. I'm not paying for it. And he's like, it's not like going to a prostitute. It's a real massage. Like, it's a legit massage. And then they just kind of, you know.
Yeah, what if you were in another country and everyone did it?
I don't know how that works. I'm not sure of the customs. I would imagine. Well, I don't know. I wonder if in a place like Austria. When I was visiting my father in Austria, I was reading all these tour guides, and they were like, "Oh, prostitution's totally legal." And my Uber driver, probably not doing any favors to Uber, but my Uber driver was like, "Do you want to go to a place? You know, I can." And apparently, like cab drivers and Uber drivers, sort of like also. I don't know if they're pimps or they get kickbacks in these situations, or a commission or some sort of situation if they take you to a
store credit
place where who knows in what way they're paid. But like the guy that picked me up from the airport, he was like, do you want to, are you interested in? I was like, no, thanks. I'll pass. Very generous of you, though. I appreciate it. And I was like reading in this guide, it's a whole different thing because it's legal there. Like they really crack down on people doing it in an unsanctioned way. If you're doing it outside the bounds of the law, like you're going to get arrested super quick. But if you're doing it in sort of like that situation, well, then it's legal, it's above board, and there's rules and standards and taxes to pay and all that sort of stuff. But I wonder if, like, when you're being massaged in a country like that or like Holland, where prostitution is legal, I wonder if, like, reputable places offer the happy ending. Like, does the Dutch equivalent of Massage Envy offer that up as a legit service? Like if you run down the list of things like, yeah, I'll work on my neck and hot stones and I would like my feet rubbed, reflexology and all that sort of stuff. And oh yeah, when you're done, but like this one buddy of mine said, he was like, it's a real thing. It's a real massage. They just kind of finish you off. And it's just too bizarre like, even if it was legal, it's just too bizarre of a leap for me to take, like the idea of paying for. It's like George Costanza said with parking spots. Parking spots are like prostitution. I can't bring myself to pay for it because I feel like if I really apply myself, I might be able to get it for free. So it's like It's a very, very odd thing. But apparently in, I guess every country that has legalized this sort of thing does their own version of it. But in Austria, it's like a combination, like the brothels there are a combination of a nightclub and a strip club and a hotel, if that makes sense, like an hourly rate hotel. And apparently it feels like you ever watch that show? You probably met the guy, right? Dennis Hoff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So you probably met that guy.
Mm-hmm.
And that whole thing, Cat House, what was that the name of the show on HBO?
I wanted to ask him some questions, but he's a jokester. He didn't give me straight answers.
Answers.
Come on, it's just you and me here.
Yeah. So like, but that thing of like, here's a lineup of females, pick one, seems so odd. I just could never, ever, like I said, even if it was legal, which I guess it is there, bring myself to do that. But the way they have it set up in Austria, again, I could never do it, but it seems more natural where you can, it feels like you're going to a nightclub and you're getting along with a girl and she goes, well, you want to go back to my place? And her place is just, a room upstairs. So it's just like that seems a little less oddly transactional to me. I don't know. Still could never bring myself to do that. Yeah.
Meanwhile,
how on earth did we
I'm
wind up at the bottom of this slippery slope?
Meanwhile, I'm speed throughing my passport. I'm like, when can I take vacation? Wow.
Yeah, that sound you hear in the background is Funkhouser frantically applying for a passport and checking the flights of.
No, dude, I have my
passport. Flights to Austria.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Well, if you ever decide to legally indulge, here's the thing.
So, let me ask you though. So, if you were approached, if you found yourself going to a less brandy type massage place, and they asked you midway through, you would definitely say no.
I'd definitely say no, and I would leave. That's just weird because I would leave for a couple of reasons. One, I wasn't into that. Two, that means her hands were just doing that a little while ago, and I do not want them rubbing me. Thank you, but no thank you. No. And then the other thing is the legality of it all. I'm like, whoa, I ended up in an establishment like that. What if it gets raided by the cops and I wind up going down with a ship? No thank you. That sounds terrible. But yeah, no, I think the main barrier to me even wanting to be involved in that massage anymore is your hands were doing what 40 minutes before I got here. I am out of here. So out of here. Yeah.
Well, now what? Now the places you go to are having similar problems.
Well, no, but it's the other way around. In these situations, at least in the complaints that Massage Envy is getting, it's the male masseuses getting all penetrating with the female clients, which is, that's yeah. So there's that. I wonder if it's because, all right, have you noticed that when you are perusing adult material on the interwebs, there seems to be a lot of porn that occurs. The fantasy setting is the massage parlor, or someone's a masseuse comes over to your house and offers you a little something extra. You've seen that plot line unfold many times on the internet.
Yeah, I mean, and I found out something interesting that depending on where you live is how you're marketed. So wherever you're listening to this, you may be, it may be a different scenario. But yeah, the fantasy thing over here in California is definitely the massage parlor.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but in Florida, it might be something else. It might be another scenario.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's an article out there that says, what the most popular searches are, and then all these search engines are strategically force feeding you stuff now. That's what I hear.
You know what I heard?
As a news person.
One of the adult, as a news person, I heard that one of the interesting things that adult websites do is they will match the performers in your videos that they show you when you first log on to the accents that are local to you, so it's more relatable. If you live in the South, it'll be people with Southern accents. If you're in England, it'll be people with English accents.
Waiting to get washed away.
Now, more AD on the radio.
So a little later on in the show, I'm going to play you a classic ZZ Top song. And it was a song that at the time was so wildly popular that it wound up getting a business shut down. And this was a real business, a business that existed, a business that was, it's a business that existed outside the confines of what was legal. And the song drew so much attention to it, it got it shut down. And this actually resulted in a movie and a Broadway musical as well. If you're a ZZ Top fan, I'm sure you know, but if not, we'll get into it later, and it's fascinating. All right, Funkhouser. Have we
I sent you the link.
Have we exhausted this subject of massage parlors?
We're getting close.
Happy endings and things of that nature.
If you'd like to stop now, we can stop.
I think I would like to stop. Well, what link did you send me?
List of the most popular porn search words by region.
Oh, yeah, I heard
this.
About
Is just the U.S., though, I think.
Yeah. What the hell is going on in the Dakotas with the stepsister stuff? Wow.
It's a really funny map of the U.S., and I kind of want to print it out and frame it.
Yeah, and it's you can find it at Time on
just
Time
Google
Magazine's website.
Most popular porn searches by region, and it comes up.
Wow. Far and away, the most popular American porn search would be lesbian.
Check out Alaska.
Stepmom. So weird. A cartoon.
Yeah, it gets weird. Where's that?
That's I closed the browser.
Yeah, it gets weird in places. You kind of don't want to say you're from Nebraska.
What's
Or
Nebraska
maybe you
famous
do.
for?
No, I don't know.
Wow.
Lesbian.
Boy.
Cartoon. Nebraska's cartoon, yeah. Yeah. And so's a lot of the South.
I got to tell you that the further north you get, the weirder things appear to become. There's a lot of stepmom,
And Vermont,
stepsister.
for some reason. Connecticut's all about the MILF, by the way, just so you know.
Well, that's good to know. That is what Connecticut and I have in common. Not really. Okay, Funkhouser. Like I said, I think we've plumbed the depths of this one.
Witness News. In no way, shape, or form fair and certainly not balanced. And now, super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser. Barry Funkhouser. Barry Funkhouser.
Me!
Barry Funkhouser.
Thank you. Movie exec once pitched an idea for Jason from Friday the 13th to take on Cheech and Chong. That's awesome.
Yeah, I even had a title picked out. Friday the 13th, part 420. That makes sense. You know where one of the best massages I've ever had was, Funkhouser?
Where?
And this was another interesting variation on the whole thing because you didn't take off your clothes. You didn't go to a private room. It's sort of like a room that's you're all in there together, but it's dim and dark. And there's, orange scented things smelling up the place and soft lights and soft music. And it's sort of like a head and scalp massage place. And it's right across the street from one of my favorite Asian restaurants in California, the Shanghai Dumpling House in San Diego on Convoy Street. It's awesome. And then sort of like right across from there, the wait there is really long because the food's awesome. But you go across the way and I don't even know what the name of it is, but they offer a foot massage. And I remember going there once and my feet were, for whatever reason, I can't remember why, but my feet were freaking killing me. And what they do is they kind of like bathe your feet, like they wash them probably to, for their own good as opposed to yours. And then they give you sort of like one of the most brutal massages I've ever had. Like they really dig in there. Like it's painful stuff, and they dig into your feet and then they dig into your scalp, and like you get a little sort of neck rub as well. But like your feet are in constant searing pain throughout the whole thing. And if you're like me, it's kind of like going into a restaurant and going like, I'll take the spiciest one because I'm a manly man that believes in doing manly things. When they say, is that pressure okay? And you're like, yeah, sure, it's fine. I'm tough. I can handle this. And then they just beat the living crap out of you. And it's almost like a badge of honor that you got through it without asking.
You can take
to
it,
let
sure.
up.
Yeah.
But then like the end result is like I felt like I was walking on freaking air for the next week. Like it was really great. And that was like a whole thing. That was a new experience to me because I'd done the whole sort of like back rub in a chair thing. And I'd done the sort of like real massage where you hang around sipping herbal tea in a bathrobe before they go in and pamper you and like massage your entire body. But this one was like, you take off your shoes, you don't take off your clothes, and you're in a room full of other people. And that's very odd to begin with. Like it's an extraordinarily unusual thing to go through this in a room full of other folks. But you forget about it partway through because they're just brutalizing parts of your body. But I wound up feeling freaking fantastic. And I think it was like, I think what they charged was like $1 a minute or something like that. So it's like you get, an hour-long massage. It's 60 minutes. You want 20 minutes, it's going to be $20. And it was like pound for pound, one of the best. So I don't know the name of it, but if you're ever in San Diego and go to the Shanghai Dumpling Saloon, the Shanghai Saloon Dumpling House, I think is what it's called. The massage place right across that just does reflexology on your feet. Highly recommend it.
How specific of you.
It's good stuff.
Bill Nye the Science Guy.
So happy birthday to Bill Nye.
Oh, how old is Bill Nye?
62.
No kidding.
Science rules.
How long has he been like the science guy from TV?
God,
like I
so
remember
long.
seeing him in the 90s.
His
Was he
Netflix show
before that?
flopped so hard.
What was his Netflix show?
They brought it back like last season.
Oh.
It bombed so hard from what I hear.
That's too bad.
The Science Guy.
Well, he's 62. He's getting older. Now the only thing he really mixes in beakers is Metamucil. He is going, he's sort of like going after atheists and,
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
well, no,
yeah.
he
I've seen-
he is an atheist, and I don't know if he's an atheist or not, but he's going after sort of like Noah's Ark folks, really, really hardcore. Like he went from being this beloved childhood figure to like an incredibly divisive, politicized dude that is. He was in that debate. Who was
Well,
that
because
debate?
all of his fans grew up, you know?
It was the debate against. What's the guy who's.
We'll Google it during the thing. Hold on.
Check it out. Find out next. There's something happening here, and you should know what it is. The dumbing up of America. Now, more AD on the radio.
Ken Ham. That's who it was. That's who Bill Nye the Science Guy debated.
Bill.
Yeah. It was the creationism versus evolution debate, and it happened online. And it was just. Do you remember this?
I
It
do
was like
remember this, yeah.
Yeah, it was two like heavyweight philosophers with massive followings getting into a room and duking it out. And I think I don't know. I think there's so many people that I think the popular idea was that Bill Nye won the debate because Ken Ham represents creationism, this idea that the Bible is literally a historical account of what happened, that Earth is way younger than people that subscribe to the idea of evolution would believe that Noah's Ark was real. In fact, I think Ken Ham was the guy he's either building or he has built a replica of Noah's Ark, saying this is how it could have been possible. And here's the thing. There's a lot of people that are deeply Christian that still believe that the idea of creationism is not necessarily meant to be taken literally. You know, the Bible, a lot of Christians believe that it's a series of parables and a series of incredibly valuable life lessons mixed in with historical fact and all this sort of stuff. And so I think that in the court of public opinion, Bill Nye ran off with a win on that one because there's so many people that will have very deep Christian faith that still don't buy the whole creationism thing, simply for the reason that two of every animal. Come on. Like that's the argument. Now, if you believe that, if you are creationist and believe that, you know what? Here's the thing. I don't have any proof to the contrary, so I'm going to shut up and respect your views. But I think, like I said, in the court of public opinion, Bill Nye ran off with a win on that one. All right, Funkhouser, should we talk about ZZ Top? Do we have time to do more news?
You know, we got about 5 more minutes before you can break into it.
Okay.
Unless it's a big story. I mean, is it a big... We just need a couple minutes, right?
Let's do a couple more pieces of news, and then we'll get into this ZZ Top song that was so big that it got a business shut down.
Jay-Z has canceled a concert in Nebraska due to technical difficulties.
To be specific, I think it's technically too difficult to find hip-hop fans in Nebraska, so there's that. Go on.
They're all watching cartoons. Gwyneth Paltrow is reportedly engaged.
If you want to get her a wedding gift, don't make it a copious amount of self-satisfaction. She's already all set in that department. I wonder if she's going to make her fiance sign a pre-uncoupling agreement. Oh, sorry, pre-conscious uncoupling agreement.
Fine.
Go on.
Happy Cyber Monday.
Yeah. Evidently, it's a day where some people go online for a reason other than surfing porn.
Do you take part in the Cyber Monday? Oh, you're going to ask me, huh?
I do.
Yeah, me too.
I absolutely.
What do you? What's on
Monday.
What's on Santa's list this year for you?
I got nothing. I just kind of like, I like oftentimes I have a list of things that I need to get for people, but I always do all of my shopping, especially gift giving online, especially gifts that need to be shipped. Like, it depends. If it's a personal thing, then I'll have it shipped to me, then I'll wrap it and I'll put the card in. But if it's one of those things where you just need to check that gift off the list, I'll have it delivered directly to them by the good folks over at whoever the hell I just bought it from.
Sure.
Because, I mean, the idea of being able to do all your Christmas shopping without having to get into your car, spend money on costly gasoline, go through a parking lot full of people who are obviously the worst, deal with that, go back through the parking lot, drive home, then drive to the post office. Thank you, but no thanks. I would rather, from the comfort of my armchair, whilst covered in Dorito crumbs and hanging out in my underwear watching television, order something on my phone and have that arrive at your home and give you the happy, jolly, good feelings of the holiday season that you've come to know and love.
Yes, but also I'm a fan of Small Business Saturday, and I like asking the question, will you send it after I buy it?
Yeah,
because
totally.
They will gift wrap it and send it most of the time. But I always ask the question, like, can you just do this for me?
Yeah, I mean, there was a time where small businesses didn't really get involved in e-commerce, but nowadays you gotta be. You absolutely have to be. So there's if Joe Blow and the Schmo selling me a vintage Mets t-shirt on eBay can get it together to package something up and send it to me, then if you're starting a small business, you too can make that trip to the post box that I don't want to have to make. Mm-hmm. All right, so this particular ZZ Top song, this is a song about a brothel. And many people in Texas knew about this brothel, but when the song was released, it drew so much attention to the illegal activities going on there that they had to cease operations. It was this place called the Chicken Ranch, or Miss Edna's Boarding House, and it was in a place called LaGrange, Texas. Probably the oldest establishment in Texas catering to the oldest profession. It was closed down by this TV reporter from Houston, a guy called Marvin Zindler, who couldn't find enough vice and corruption to report on in Houston. So he went and found the story of the Chicken Ranch in LaGrange, and he challenged the governor on the issue of why it continued to operate in fairly plain sight. It was just the sort of thing that people turned a blind eye to. The governor had no choice but to order the sheriff to close it. Here's the thing, though. It was, as these things go, not a bad example of how an establishment should be run. Miss Edna's girls had weekly visits from local doctors, so they were quote unquote clean. The girls spent their money in LaGrange, and when a new hospital was needed, Miss Edna, the owner of the brothel, gave the first and largest donation. She was kind of a local and celebrated hero, and this was a vital part of that small town's economy. And so when Marvin Zindler got the place closed down, when he forced the government to go like, hey, you got to close this place down. Everybody knows it's going on. Why are you not doing anything about it? Well, the place was, like I said, closed down. And the reason Marvin Zindler knew about it was because ZZ Top wrote this very, very popular song about it. ZZ Top are from Houston. Marvin Zindler was from Houston. He was like, hey, this ZZ Top song is alerting me to a whole bunch of sin that's happening in our state that the government and the police department are doing absolutely nothing about. The place in the song is a subject of the 1982 movie The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas with Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds. It was adapted from a 1978 Broadway play, and all because ZZ Top wrote the song about the Chicken Ranch, LaGrange.
Rumors spreading round United Texas town about the shack outside the game. And you know what I'm talking about. Just let me know if you wanna go to that home out on the range. They got a lot of nice girls. I'm racing. Well, here it's fine if you got the time and the chance to get yourself in. And here always been mistaken.